All right. Now that we've talked about representing integers, we're going to focus now on adding them together. Now, you've been doing addition of positive integers for several years, right? For example, positive 5 plus positive 3 equals positive 8, right? No problemo. We talked about having zero pairs. So we know that positive 1 and negative 1 combine to make a zero pair. Okay? So now let's go into adding them. So combine the tiles. There are 9 yellow tiles. They model positive 9. So we often will have it look like this, right? Just to make it very, very clear, we put in parentheses, right? So we're talking about positive 5. We're going to add positive 4 would equal positive 9, right? So it's a bit trickier when we're talking about representing negative numbers, but again, if you use parentheses, it just makes sense. These are negative counters. So to add a negative integer and a positive integer, this is what it would look like, right? So these are the counters here. We have -6, and we're going to add positive 9, right? So if we would kind of pair those together, right, there are 6 0 pairs, there are 3 yellow tiles left. They would therefore model as positive 3. So this is how it would look like. So -6, we're going to add positive 9. What's left then is positive 3. Now, adding to negative integers, again, if we go back to what we talked about when we're talking about these tiles, it looks like this. Well, we have -3, and we're going to add more negative numbers. We're going to add 7 more yellow tiles. So after that, how many red tiles do we have? If we add them together, there are 10 red tiles. Okay, so this is what you're going to show right here. We have -3. I'm going to add more to that negative number. We're going to add 7 more. So we're going to go farther away from 0. We're going to go 7 more jumps, which would be -10. Think about it as, like, say, soccer. And in your match, you gave up 3 more goals than you had. Therefore, you were at -3 goals. The next game, you gave up 7 more goals than you scored. Therefore, you had -7 for that game. So combine those two games, we would have had -3. We're going to add the next game, which was -7, which would give you a -10 goals against. Okay, so let's try this again. If we're going to add 6, positive 6, and we're going to add now a negative number, right? And then we're going to add another negative number. So positive 6, we're going to add a negative number. We're going to add a negative number. I like to think of it in sports. Again, you're playing a soccer match. You score 6 more goals than your opponent in game one. Then you score 5 less goals in the next game. Then in the next game, you scored 4 less goals, right? So we're adding all those 3 games together to see, do we score more goals than our opponents or less? This is how you model it right here. We have the first number is 6 yellow tiles, which is a positive 6. We scored lots of goals. Then the other team scored a lot, right? So then we have a -5 in this game, and then we also have a -4 in this game. So if you pair them up like this is a way of representing on how we're doing this, and we pair this extra one with that one right here, what's left over? We have 3 red tiles left over, right, in the negative number. That's red tiles. Therefore, unfortunately, we gave up 3 more goals than we scored. All right, so game one, right, lots of goals. Game two, the other team scored a bunch. And then in game three, they scored a bunch, right? So therefore, you take those all together and combine them to have that 0. Then what's left over? Well, in this case, we have 3 negative numbers. And this is how we'll represent it. We have positive 6, right? Put them all, each of these numbers for clarity, into um, each of these parentheses. You add each of them together, which would give you -3.